Okay, so let's move on to Delphine Hanna. Delphine Hanna is introduced in chapter 8. She will also come back in chapter 9. She was a student of Sergeant Lewis and Nils Posse. She started, what you need to know about her is she started the physical education program at Oberlin College. Okay, this we will go over more in chapter 9. She was the first to establish anthropometric measurements. So what are anthropometrics? Do we remember?
Measurements of circumferences of like waist, bicep, legs.
Perfect. Yep. Good job, Payson. So she would train the male physical education teachers to instruct other male students. But I guess what was most important is that she would use the anthropometrics of college women to help establish exercise programs for them. She trained these teachers below right here. These guys are going to be our chapter 9 guys that we will talk about next week. Luther Gulick, Thomas Wood, Jay Nash, and Jesse Williams. William Anderson. What we need to know about William Anderson is he initiated the first professional meeting of physical educators related to professionals. He developed the Association of Advancement of Physical Education. He ultimately brought us what is now known today as Shape America. So Shape America has went through a variety of different name changes, but that was the professional meeting for physical educators. Has been around for a really long time. It has just went through a bunch of different name changes. So that was brought to us by William Anderson. Okay, this brought us to the playground movement. So the playground movement was due to industrialization and immigration led to its development. So playgrounds served as a method of social control and assimilation of immigrants to the new culture to replace past ethnic cultures. So we created these to Americanize the immigrants, to try to have some sort of social control over choices that were being made. So overcrowded cities needed suitable places for kids to play. First was a sandbox built in Boston, 1886. Then we moved to New York City, and then 1899, 21 playgrounds, sponsored by Massachusetts Emergency Hygiene Association. So up until this point, there was no such thing as a playground. You guys saw those past pictures of what the playgrounds were like. They were more so gymnastics areas. So at this point, we then started having playgrounds. And this is why a lot of our playground equipment mimics the gymnastics equipment. So we will have, different bars, or what do I want to call it? Does anybody know gymnastics term? The two little rings that you can hang on to. What do you guys call those in gymnastics? Anybody? Do you know what I'm talking about though? Okay. The rings, I don't know what the specific gymnastics term is for them, I guess. Okay, this led to men's amateur athletics. So we had all of these different sports going on. The socially elite would engage in horse racing, dancing, gambling, cards, and yachting. Baseball was next. That was more considered a poor man's sport. Cycling arrived in the late 1800s. So take a look at, this is what the cycling bikes looked like back then. Let's have one more point. Then we had tennis, golf, cricket, basketball. We're going to talk about James Naismith. He was the one who brought us basketball and developed the rules. And volleyball was brought to us by William Morgan at the YMCA. Well, both basketball and volleyball started at the YMCA. So James Naismith, basketball, William Morgan, volleyball. Amateur athletics were the first to exist. So we did not have college athletics at this time. Amateur athletics came first. So this was an athletic club. It's similar to what amateur athletics are now. So they offered sports competition. They were still for the upper class at this point, male members. Athletic clubs began to start to pay athletes to compete. And then this is why. So if you're asked, why did the AAU become a thing? Or why was it founded? It was to check the evils of professionalism and promote amateur sports. So what that means is they tried getting away from these paid athletes and tried just having athletes play for the sake of the sport. So that's what they mean by checking the evils, is getting rid of those top paid athletes. Here's our two gentlemen, James Naismith, pictured right here. This is Pierre. He began the modern Olympics. So he brought back the Olympics. They began again in 1896. So remember, the Olympics went away for thousands of years. Greece went through a bunch of different environmental changes that did not allow us to have the Greek games there. So they went away. They returned 1896 by this gentleman named Pierre. And the 13 rules of basketball. So I want you guys to read through these, or read through a few of them, and tell me some rules that you can identify that are no longer true to this day. These are the original basketball rules. Let's try to find some that have changed over the years. Can anybody find there's 2 errors, or 2 things that have changed, I guess?
I'd say 3 and 5.
3 and 5, a player cannot run with the ball. Player must throw it from a spot. Catches it, allows man to catch ball when running at a good speed. Yeah, that's changed a little bit. The one that I was looking at, number 12. The time shall be 2 15-minute halves with 5-minute rests between. That's changed quite a bit. How long are halves? Don't I have some basketball players in here? How long are the... Yeah, Logan, how long are they?
Well, for us, it's 20 minutes, but in like
Okay.
the NBA, it's like 12-minute quarters.
Oh, okay. So that's different. That varies a little bit. Don't worry about memorizing these rules. These are in here just to kind of read through. Don't stress about that slide at all. Okay, so second came college athletics for men. So AAU, amateur athletics, came first. We then had college athletics for men. They were initially organized by students. So students would organize them as an extracurricular activity. There weren't coaches at this time. They would get together and develop these sports. Okay, know this point right here. The first ever collegiate event was versus Harvard and Yale in rowing. Baseball and football were early favorites in college sports. They came next. Then faculties developed committees to try to control. So faculty needed to get involved due to increase in missed classes, gambling, property damage, whatnot came with students organizing their own sports, which I'm sure you guys can all imagine. Think about not having a coach or anybody in control of your sport. It would be quite chaos. Okay, in 1895, we had the first intercollegiate conference, faculty representatives. This is today's Big Ten. Big Ten Conference. Women. Collegiate sports for women came next. They would primarily participate in archery, croquet, and tennis. The reasoning why is because it did not require revealing clothing. So cycling became a radical change due to they perceived this clothing at this time as being revealing. So cycling was a radical change due to the bloomers or divided skirts, which led from freedom of appropriate day-to-day attire. So that was kind of a radical change as far as women being perceived as wearing that revealing clothing was from the cycling boom. Many women participated in baseball, basketball, rowing against physician and societal opposition. So still at this time, women were perceived as they should be, their main purpose was to bear healthy children. So the physicians would oftentimes recommend that they don't participate in vigorous exercise, but they would go against that for physical and emotional reasons. Our first women's collegiate event was basketball, Stanford versus University of California. Okay, does anybody have any questions? When you study, use these key points. This will be your summary. So even when you're like filling out the study guides, these key points are going to have a lot of the important information within them. So use those. Let me get our Kahoot up here. I'll have you guys grab out your phones. See how we do. So quick announcements. Like I said earlier, if you weren't quite on the call yet, Chapter 7 quiz was due before class. If you haven't done that, do that as soon as possible. Chapter 8 quiz is open. It's due 1 week from today. And then remember, Tuesday, I will be speaking with a nursing class, so we will not meet for class on Tuesday. So that can kind of be your catch-up day if you want to save your Chapter 8 quiz and start studying on that day. That would be a good idea.
Do we have lab today for exercise phase?
No, I'm sure that was Logan that just asked that. No, we don't.
All right, okay.
Until next week. All right, 22 people. Two more people. Anybody having issues joining? Okay, Okay, let's just go ahead and go. Okay, we got 18 questions. Who designed exercise machines that promote individual development? Ooh, pretty ugly. Dudley Sargent. So a lot of you guys said Edward Hitchcock. Remember, Edward Hitchcock was the one who invented or started using the anthropometrics, but then Dudley Sargent took that and he created those different machines and prescribed the exercise. So that's our difference between those two guys. William Anderson was volleyball guy. Okay, Corbin and Alexa. What was the founding purpose of the Amateur Athletic Union, the AAU? Okay, check the evils of professionalism and promote sports. Yes, good job. Question 3. Which type of program was taught at the Boston Normal School? Gymnastics. Category do we have Boston Normal School?
Oh my God.
Swedish. Oh, somebody have a question? Swedish gymnastics was Boston Normal School. Okay, we're doing all right. Majority got that one anyways. What is often associated with sports played by Native Americans? What do we say was prevalent? Gambling, okay.
I knew it. I knew people were going to say sacrifices of animals because they're racist.
Okay, gambling is the right answer. What was Catherine Beecher's physical activity program that promoted health, beauty, and strength? Calisthenics. There we go. Most of you guys got that one. Calisthenics, good job. Definitely use this Kahoot to gauge your readiness for the quiz and the exam. I will tell you that's what it was created for, so they will be similar. True or false, football was the men's first intercollegiate event. False. Okay, you all got that. What was the first event?
Rowing.
Rowing. Good job. Playgrounds in the late 1800s were established for assimilation and social control of the youth. Good job. True. True. So we had a lot of immigration happening at this time, and they were trying to, we say, Americanize youth. Americans' love for sport began with the development of intercollegiate sports. True or false? What did I say came first? False. What came first? Not collegiate sports. What type of sports?
Amateur.
Amateur. Yes. Good job. Kelly, Corbin, Kiana. Halfway. College faculty initially organized men's intercollegiate athletics. False. Good job. It was organized by the student athletes. They didn't get involved until there was the skipping of class, damage to property. Societal attitudes towards women in the 1800s restricted their sporting opportunities. True, false? True. What was first introduced in this country at Round Hill School? German, okay, pretty good there. German gymnastics. The outcome of Battle of the Systems was Sargent's program became most popular. True, false? False. What was the outcome of the Battle of the Systems?
Didn't they all like have like an agreement on like which ones took the best of every one of them?
Take the best of every one of them. Yes, a combination was called for. Yep. What system used wands, beanbags, dumbbells, and was advocated by Diocletian Lewis? Light gymnastics. The only one that used the beanbags, dumbbells, wands is always, that's always going to be light gymnastics with Diocletian Lewis. Okay. Why did Dudley Sargent develop exercise machines for his program at Harvard? What was Dudley Sargent's purpose? individualized program. So Dudley Sargent sports and individualized programs, he was against gymnastics. Kelly Corbin Kiana. What is anthropometric? Just talked about this today. Good job. Measurement of man. Waist height, chest girth, bicep circumference. Okay, a couple more questions. What was the academic preparation of many early leaders? What type of degree did I say that most of them had? Ooh, yuck. Medical degrees. So I mentioned they were all MDs at this time. Edward Hitchcock, Dudley Sargent held MDs. What sport was a radical change for women? Second to last question. More people. Bicycling. Yes. Bicycling. Come on, you guys. We just talked about that. Bicycling because of, I think this is our last question. What do they have to wear? There we go. Bloomers and midi blouses. Okay. Whoever said tank top and shorts and yoga pants? Nope. Pants and t-shirts. Okay. No, not at this time. So let's see our final podium. Use this Kahoot to your guys' advantage. Okay. This is their best way to prepare. Go through it until you can get every question right. Then take the chapter 8 quiz, and then you're ready for exam 2. Coming up in a couple weeks here. Okay, you guys, that's it for today. We're done a little early, so take that chapter 8 quiz, chapter 7 if you haven't yet, and then no class Tuesday. Okay, see you guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.